Hi everyone, today I want to talk about the bridge of incidents and what that is and how to recognize it. So, anyone who's manifesting and is part of the manifesting community will hear these terms like the bridge of incidents. And what actually is that? The bridge of incidents is a series of events that take place once your subconscious has been impressed with your manifestation and it's coming into fruition. So, generally you'll become aware of this over a period of time. So when you're manifesting, what you're doing is you're becoming conscious. You're becoming conscious of your thoughts and your feelings as you move towards what you desire. And what you're doing is you're over time overriding the old voices, the old beliefs in your subconscious that have directed your life, that got to a point where you just went, no, I don't want this. I want to manifest. So I need to be conscious, and I need to consciously change my internal thinking, my subconscious, my pathways, and my feelings so that I know and I line up with the frequency of where I want to be. So when does the bridge of incidents take place? Almost immediately. This is the good news. The problem is we don't always recognize it. And I've noticed this a lot with my clients is you might be manifesting one thing and something else kind of similar happens, or something random happens that's not even part of your manifestation. You're like, how did I get here? Didn't expect that. Once you keep progressing with your manifestation and becoming more and more conscious and doing whatever technique it is that you do to move towards your technique, to move towards your manifestation, you'll start to realize that these random, unforeseen, seemingly unrelated events that take place in your life are actually part of your bridge. So, for example, you might decide that I want to be a teacher. Okay, I'm going to be a teacher. It's my heart's desire. I'm going to be a teacher. And the next thing that might happen is you move house and you live in a neighborhood with a lot of really rowdy children. And you'll be like, you won't even pay attention to it. You won't even think twice about it. You won't even notice. Then you might get asked to babysit a few times, and you might start looking up, how do I entertain these kids? Later, when you're further down the path, you'll look back and go, oh, okay. So what my life started doing is giving me experience of what I was saying I wanted. And it's often where, back to the example of the teacher, if you want to be a teacher and you haven't had a lot of experience, your subconscious, the collective consciousness is so incredibly intelligent. And this is why they always say manifesting, don't get involved. Like, don't ever focus on how it's going to happen. Just go to the end. Because, as you know, the likelihood of you going, I'm going to be a teacher, so what I might do is I'll move to a suburb where I'll be in contact with a lot of rowdy children and I'll start getting involved with them because this will aid my teaching. You probably wouldn't do that. But what you'll find is, as you move further and further along your path that you've chosen, your timeline that you've chosen, is this experience, if you get involved and you see it as a positive, even if you don't recognize at the time it's related, it will build, and then other experiences will unfold on top of this, and they will all lead you to where you're going. So once you start manifesting, I think what I'm saying is, once you start manifesting and you're really centered on it, you're not iffy about it, you're like, no, I definitely want this. Start knowing that the bridge of incidents is unfolding, and manifesting is becoming conscious of your world. So start looking at events in your world and reframing them. So instead of just going, I want to be a teacher, I've moved house and I'm living next door to all these rowdy kids, how am I going to study with all these rowdy kids there? No. Be consciously aware and think, how is this thing that's just happened to me that I didn't expect, how is this lining up with where I said I'm going? And the answer will come to you. I mean, we always give meaning to everything in our life. So you can give it the meaning of, oh, this is my manifestation coming in. I didn't realize, but I need these. I need this experience with these children. I need to get familiar with lots of noise and lots of sensory overload. I need to get familiar with strategies for managing behavior, for seeing children of all different ages and being part of that community. You can give it whatever meaning you like, but the more you give it everything that's kind of significant that comes into your world, once you start your manifestation, you give it a meaning of, it's yet another tick towards your dream and your manifestation, the more it'll start to come into place. Like, we cannot predict, as we've heard so many times, and we've heard so many success stories about how this will happen. We couldn't have even imagined how a manifestation will happen in our wildest dreams. So start making everything in your life about your manifestation coming true. And if you can do this, I think what you'll find is you can get into the space of the Sabbath quicker and just find peace, just find that knowing, and you'll start to revel in, oh my goodness, look, here's another thing in my life that is just showing me that it's a given, that I'm chosen, that I'm honored by the universe. The universe has my back. I'll always get my dreams. But it's about being conscious. Don't give things your old meaning. Give them the new meaning, and start seeing that your subconscious is increasingly impressed with your new way of being in the world and your new part of where you're going. You know, I had this happen to me many years ago. I had a job that I was offered a position that was it almost fell in my lap, and it was with a government organization, government department, and I didn't enjoy it. There was nothing about it I enjoyed. It was, it had a lot of rewards on like a recognition level and experience level and that. And I used to complain to my daughter about it all the time, and she's quite psychic, and all my kids are psychic, and she said to me all the time, it's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone. And I just carried on whinging about this job and complaining, coming home every day and sooking about this job. And I certainly didn't give it the value that it's turned out to have in my life. What I found years later was, afterwards, she was so right. It was absolutely a stepping stone, because it gave me a level of structured basis for business management that I couldn't have understood without having had this job. But I was so busy going, I hate it. This is annoying. I don't want to be there. I don't want to go tomorrow. And I was just in my complaining era, and just fully unconscious, not conscious that this was totally leading me to everywhere. It wasn't even just a stepping stone. It was a massive stepping stone to where I needed to go. But I wasn't conscious enough at the time to recognize that it was taking me to where I wanted to go. So I think as you become a manifestor and you get very set, especially the big goals, very set on what you want, you're on track, because it starts unfolding immediately. But you need to look at, what are the conversations people are having around me? What is the environment doing around me? Like, what are the experiences that I'm having? Who are the people I'm connecting with? What are the opportunities I'm seeing come up towards my chosen field, or whatever your manifestation is? Like, start reframing everything as part of your bridge of incidents, and then you'll find yourself in the Sabbath quicker and with your birds before land. Like, just know that you've impressed your subconscious. And you're still going to have some work to do, because to go from unconscious to conscious is quite massive, because we sleep all the time, like me with my job that I didn't like. But got to keep doing it. You got to keep conscious, and you got to keep knowing. And if you can reframe events, it's definitely going to help you. Okay, so if you'd like any support, have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in contact. I'll leave my contact details below. I do coaching sessions, intuitive sessions, and I've got a super skill that I've talked about before, that I just have this ability to know exactly where anyone's issues came from, and it's a psychic ability, where they came from and how to repair that, and what you need to do to move forward towards what you want in your life. And stop running away from your dreams, like take control of them. And it can be yours. So get in touch, and Let's talk soon. Bye bye.